put that hand to what will move you forward. We're not looking back, and there ain't no stopping us now. What awaits you is right in front. It's something new, and it's just for you. So join me for that new thing, starting now on A New Thing Live. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday. How are you? Want to welcome you to A New Thing Live. My name is Cyndi Galley, and I'm the host of this show. It's a fun show. It's a real show. It's a show that's meant to give you strength and to encourage you in doing that new thing that awaits you. You know, sometimes it may have to do with business or lifestyle changes or something right in between. And so I'm really excited about tonight's show. Our guest is going to talk to us about some of the changes that needed to be made to help her gain that oomph that she needed with regards to fighting a health issue. And so stick around. Every one of us can improve on our health. I know that I can improve, even though I'm already making these changes and have been making changes, gradual changes, for like the last 2 years. There's always something more that we can do. So it's going to be a fun show, and it's going to be inspiring and encouraging and probably very enlightening. So I hope, wherever you're at, we want you to interact with us. Tell us where you're watching from. Is it New York? Is it Wisconsin? Is it Florida? Wherever you're watching. Is it Anaheim? Wherever you're watching us from. Just chime, let us know. We want to welcome you, whether you're watching and joining us on YouTube, Facebook, or Roku. I want to say thank you guys so much. And I do encourage you bringing a journal and just taking notes, because there are a lot of things that are shared on this show that people go, oh my goodness, I had to go back and rewatch it because I really loved what that person said. So just have your journal out and write some things, and you'll know, because there'll be a stirring on the inside and something will go, you'll just catch it and you'll go like, that was for me. That is something that I know that I need to do and apply to my life. So let's just jump right into it. It's May 9th. I am cannot even believe it. Mother's Day just finished. I pray that you all had a wonderful Mother's Day and, celebrating with people that you loved. All of my family are out of state. So I did want to just give a quick shout out to my mom, my family, my sisters. There's my mamita in the back with my sisters. They're in the back right by my mom, and then my two nieces. That is that's 2 generations. Hello, I can't count. Oh no, that's 3. My mom, and my sisters, and me and my nieces. Yes, that's 3 generations. So they all live in Wisconsin, so I don't get to spend it with them as often as I'd like, but I do have some wonderful memories about moms, and of course, so thankful for FaceTime, being able to FaceTime mi familia on these special moments. But I do pray whatever you did, that it was wonderful. Just not as important as Mother's Day, but this past week was National Star Wars Day. I'm going to have Kiri come out here real quick. Kiri, come and jump and show. I love this t-shirt. I'm going to get out of the way so our girl Kiri can show you her cute t-shirt. It's May the 4th be with you. Here we go. Oh my gosh. So cute, so cute. I love it. And so we're going to have to figure out how we can get a shirt as cute as that. I think she had some help from some friends who had a Cricut, so it may not be that exact t-shirt, but so cute. Okay, so you guys know that we love national holidays here on the show, so let me just share with you some things that are coming up. And then we're going to jump into the more segment part of the show. But here's some national holidays coming up. Let's see. On the 10th, we have World Lupus Day, and we also have Clean Up Your Room Day. That's this week. So World Lupus is really just to make people aware of lupus cerebritis and some things that you can do to help, if that's something that you have been diagnosed with. So it's definitely something different than Clean Up Your Room Day. Clean Up Your Room is just, hey, this is a day that we have to clean up our room. And I just moved, so this applies to me. I need to clean up my room. Please pray with me. I'm looking for 2 shelves not super tall, but just shelves that I can bring in about 30 inches wide so I can unpack the rest of my room. So that applies to me personally. And then on the 11th, it's Eat What You Want Day. I know with what our special guest is going to be sharing tonight, we may not want to do that Eat What You Want Day. Maybe do half what you want or a milder version of that. So that's on the 11th. No matter what you eat, though, we should always try to eat in moderation, not so much that we feel like I can't breathe another moment and I need to unbutton my pants. That was always me for Thanksgiving up to about a few years ago. So whatever you do, do it in moderation. And then we've got on the 12th is National Fibromyalgia Awareness Day. And again, that's just a time and a day where you are made aware of fibromyalgia. In fact, our guest tonight, this is something that she's been walking through. And so we're going to hear from her. She's doing phenomenal and I'm excited. She's such an inspirational woman in so many different regards. But I always feel like it's important to have these different topics. Not everything is going to be about calling or entrepreneur or launching a business, but we need to be healthy. We need to be whole as well. So I'm excited about that. And then also on the 13th is National Hummus Day. That's on the 13th. I know Kiri loves her some hummus, so she gonna be celebrating that. We're gonna be expecting a cute little reel from you on that day. And then we've got National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day on the 15th. Again, we're trying to help you eat better, but this past week, our guest, Celeste Zevallos, she came on and she just launched her bakery, True Vine Bakery. And I'm telling you, those chocolate chip cookies were amazing. This picture doesn't do her chocolate chip cookies justice. Now, here's the thing, and I didn't share this last week. I am not a huge chocolate chip cookie fan. Did you know that? Neither are you? Not a huge chocolate chip cookie fan. No, seriously, these cookies are the exception to the rule. I mean, I was thinking about her cookies even after I was done eating them. So good. Right? It was like the right amount of everything. Maybe butter, salt, I don't know, with the sweet and those big chips. I mean, they were just chewy. Oh my God, they're so good. Anyway, we will just want to throw you back. If you didn't take a look at last week's episode, do that because she was on our show. She just talked a lot about her process and launching her business, which is just pretty much really new, and just some of the transition that she's made and taking it from where it was to where it is now. But True Vine Bakery, she does cakes and cookies. She keeps it simple. I'm looking for a reason to be able to get a cake and order a cake from True Vine Bakery. So those were some of the different holidays that we have coming up. If there are holidays that you like, do let us know because we want to celebrate that, or birthdays or whatnot. And also this month is National American Cheese Month. And so I just wanted to share with you my favorite cheese. If I can find it. I think I threw it in my purse. Oh, here it is. So good. It's the Unexpected Cheddar Cheese from Trader Joe's. OMG. I'm so obsessed with this cheese. They don't have it all the time, but it breaks. It's cheddar, but it's white, and it's aged, so it breaks, and it is so, so good. I'm gonna have a little piece right now, but it breaks. I mean, you see it's not just that regular cheddar. Oh my goodness, so good. I love to eat on the show. Many of you know that. So that is Unexpected Cheddar Cheese. This is National American Cheese Month. So I wanted to share with you my favorite cheese. Okay. Now, with Mother's Day, looking for some of the different gifts and things that you could get for your mom, I came across some fun finds. And what we're going to start doing probably once a month will be FAB Finds, whether it's Amazon or just something that's really cool and unique that we've never really seen, but it's like, oh my goodness, everybody needs to have this. But this particular day, I'm just going to share with you 5 great specials and deals that I came across while shopping for Mother's Day. So the over the weekend FAB 5 finds. Now, I am hoping and keeping my fingers crossed that these are still on sale because they were, after all, Mother's Day deals. So let's take a look really quick. Some of the things that we came across. So I was able to locate Nest Orange Blossom Reed Diffuser, which is delicious. Okay, this thing smells so good. For $30.97 at the Nordstrom Rack. Regularly, it's $54. $54, but their fragrances are amazing. Nest is amazing. One of my favorite is a pear fragrance that I have in my room now. But I mean, that's such a great price, right? $30.97 as opposed to 54, right? That's a great deal. Second, of course, right now we're just on this huge Michael Kors kick right now. We had this fun fashion show a little over a week ago at the South Coast Plaza with our team that we love from South Coast, Kaylin and Orlando. They were on the show, in fact, last week as well. But Michael Kors, oh my goodness. So what they've got going on is this gorgeous bag, $89, originally $498.
What?
Yeah, $498. And on sale, and it's probably still on sale now, for only $89. It's this beautiful pink purse. I'm going to send you the link.
Please.
I'm gonna send you Kiri's mouth. She's watering over. Her mouth is watering over here. Now, I don't know if you pronounce it Voluspa or Voluspa, but I'm just going to say Voluspa candles, which I love. I have a lot of those candles in my home, or even throughout the years. I've always really enjoyed their fragrances. They're rich. They're beautiful. They don't smell cheap or cheesy. Now, Nordstrom had them for 28% off, and so $22.40. I know you like that lychee. Remember we went to Morning Lavender? And they're just beautiful. They're gorgeous fragrances, and they're very pretty in their design as well, and their label and their branding is so pretty. So that's something we definitely wanted to share. Two more. Supernova Electric Aromatherapy Diffuser. Now, I've never heard of this particular brand, but I do like aromatherapy diffusers. Now, what I really thought was great about this, for those of you that do really look for that perfect aromatherapy diffuser, was only $41.96, which was 40% off from the regular price of $69.95. And that I know. And that was also Nordstrom Rack, I believe, either Nordstrom Rack or Nordstrom. Great prices, right? Great deals. Last but not least, one of my favorite brands to wear for many reasons is Zara. And I found the cutest flat leather sandals. They were leather with a cute little buckle, only $49 from Zara, only $49. And actually, that was not a sale. That was just their regular price. Comes in black, comes in brown. So for those of you that, like me, you like a good find. Now, I really like a real good find. Like, I'm the kind of person that when I go into a store, I go right to the clearance rack, or I'm all about thrift shopping. Also, threadup.com. Have you heard of threadup? I just recently, so for the Michael Kors show, I didn't know that they were going to bless me with that beautiful silk camouflage jumper that they did. I mean, I was blown away because that was such a beautiful gift and just so generous and kind. Thank you, Michael Kors, for that, and for just making, you just made my month, really made my year, because I'm going to be wearing that. Someone goes, I think you already like living in it. Like, yep, I do. But before that, I had bought this really cute white Michael Kors t-shirt with the little bling that had the MK. And it was from threadup, like brand new. It was like $10. $10. So threadup.com, that's another place you can go, just even visit after the show. But I recommend you just taking a look. They've got designers, high-end, and it's a secondhand thrift store, and they've got a multitude and plethora of all kinds of fun stuff. So that's what we've got going on. Those are some of the things that we came across this past weekend with Mother's Day, with those FAB Finds. And so now we talked a little bit about Fibromyalgia Awareness Day. And tonight's guest, she has been on a quest ever since I've known her to eat healthy. And but also just hearing her journey and her story is pretty amazing at how some of this fibromyalgia has actually been reversed. And so I am going to bring her out here. But before we do, I do have one quick message from A New Thing Live. So don't go away. Don't touch that button. Just let it play because we will be right back after this message. It's an all-new Season 2, bringing you now more than ever before. You'll be inspired. Welcome to A New Thing Live. Now you get to lead everybody. Girl, you leading everybody doing that.
Let's just go for it.
Yes! You'll be strengthened.
So I was brought up to honor and respect our nation, to care for people all around the world, human dignity from the womb to the tomb.
We get real.
It's to impart. It's to empower. It's to equip.
Wow.
And to bring the healing and the restoration and freedom. That's like my big thing.
And we have fun.
You're rocking that green. Green on you?
Oh, well, this, yeah. We can switch. We're going where we've never gone before, and we're inviting you to come along. It's Season 2 of A New Thing Live on Monday nights. Subscribe today. So yes, subscribe. If you have not yet subscribed, then subscribe to our channel like right now. Just go on over and just hit subscribe. We have a lot of fun. You know, it's been interesting because when we launched this show, we were virtual, and now, you know, we're kind of coming out of this place of maybe wearing masks, not wearing masks. I know it's been lifted, but like our precious Kiri here in the studio, she's wearing one right now. But I really enjoy, my favorite thing really is to do those live and in-person interviews. So, and I love the virtual ones too. It's so weird, but when I look at the live, it's like, well, that's a lot of fun too. In fact, that was Lizbeth that we saw the last one. I was saying, let's switch, and now she's back in Paris. And so we can't wait to hear what's going on with her in Paris. But are you ready for our special guest tonight? So I had already started mentioning just about her whole journey to eating healthy, to eating better. You know, she was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and she's always been on this quest for eating healthy as far as I can remember, and in part because of some of the health issues that her family has dealt with. But you're going to love her. You're going to love her wisdom. You're going to love her insight. She's been in the social working field now for over 20 years. I don't want to say 28, but over 20 years for sure. But she was diagnosed with the symptoms, or not really diagnosed, but had begun the symptoms of fibromyalgia probably about 23 years ago. And so I'm so excited to have her wisdom tonight. You are going to love her, and you're going to want to hear every word that she has to say, because she is a woman who has done the work, and she's walking it out now. And this is why she's on A New Thing Live tonight, to help us walk out just ways in improving our health. We might already be doing so, but she's going to help us make it even more so than what we are now. Would you please help me welcome tonight to A New Thing Live, Miss Madelaine Ayala. Maddie!
Hi, Cyndi. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, my friend, it's so good to have you on here. How are you doing?
Oh my goodness, I'm actually doing fabulous. I enjoyed Mother's Day with my daughters, and no, it's just another day. I'm just blessed.
Oh, well, it's so good to have you. And I know that, you know, you recently lost your precious mama, who was so full of life and just so vivacious. I mean, some of my favorite moments, and for those of you that don't know, Madelaine and I actually went to high school together. And so, and have just remained friends this entire time. We've done vacations. We went on a cruise. Remember me, you, and your mom, and my mom.
That was so much fun.
I mean, we've done some wonderful things together. But I'm just so blessed to have you on here. You know, to me, you've always been just one of those health advocates. It's kind of helped to keep me, even though I definitely have gone off track. I feel like you've always been one of those ones that has imparted just the whole idea of eating better, eating healthy. And I know a lot of it has to do with some of the Adventism, And I want to talk even a little bit about that because we talked a little bit at our most recent homecoming, our alumni homecoming, which was what, a
Yes.
couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was so good. It was so good to see you. Oh, there we are.
Oh my gosh.
There I am wearing the same dress I'm wearing right now.
You're so
But
funny.
I know.
You
I'm
look
like,
fabulous.
thank you. This is my H&M clearance. I'm telling you, I don't pay full price for anything, girl. Nothing.
I need to learn from you to thrift.
I'm gonna send you that link to ThredUp, and then we gotta go shopping. We gotta go thrift shopping.
I was actually taking notes as you were talking, so.
Well, I'll send you the links for sure. Send you the links for sure. So, you know, at our alumni homecoming, you were bringing us up to speed, and you were just talking about some of the health changes and eating changes that you made. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. So you started experiencing symptoms of fibromyalgia about 23 years ago. And this week is National Fibromyalgia Awareness Week. Talk about a tongue twister. National Fibromyalgia Awareness Week. So you started experiencing symptoms. Had you ever known about fibromyalgia prior to that?
Never. I had never heard of fibromyalgia.
Wow. Okay. So you started experiencing symptoms. What was that like? And then what was your journey from you experiencing the symptoms and then you going to the doctor and then finding out that this is what your body was fighting?
Okay. So 3 weeks after my oldest daughter was born, so she's going to be 24 in October. So 3 weeks after she was born in 1998, I started feeling body aches and I had a fever. I felt like I had the flu, actually, that kind of body ache. And I was shivering and everything hurt. And I thought that I had possibly an infection. I had a C-section. So my mind just went right away to thinking, oh, maybe they left something inside of me post-op. And I thought I have to go to the I have to go to the emergency room. Maybe something happened in the operating room. So I went to the emergency room and I had blood work done. My white blood count cells were high, indicative of some kind of infection. They gave me antibiotics, but so I got better within a few days, no more fever, but the body aches never went away. And they started getting worse. My elbows hurt. I thought maybe it was because of holding my daughter while I was breastfeeding her. To bend down and get back up, I couldn't. Somebody would have to help me up, or I would have to hold on to something to stand back up. I got to the point where I couldn't hold my baby without running my hands under hot water because my hands they didn't function. And it just progressed. The pains progressed, and I felt like I had the flu all the time. Even wearing clothes hurt. I ended up going, so I just lived with the pain because I didn't know what was wrong. Maybe 6 months after the symptoms started, I went to a rheumatologist, and the rheumatologist did an exam. He stepped out of the room, and a resident came back into the room, and he did his own exam. And he asked me, he touched my back, he touched my neck, my hips, and he asked me, have you ever heard of fibromyalgia? I said, no, I've never heard of fibromyalgia. He said, I think that you have fibromyalgia. So he stepped out of the room, the rheumatologist came back in, and the rheumatologist said, this is what the resident just explained to me, that he thought maybe you would have fibromyalgia, but regardless of whether you have that or not, there's nothing that we can do because you're breastfeeding, and there's nothing that we can give you because it'll impact the baby. So he said, so I asked him, like, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't know what fibromyalgia is. I don't know what to do with all this pain. And he says, you're going to have to live with it. And if it gets worse, we'll give you medicine. And if not, you're just going to have to wait and see what happens. That's literally what he told me. He gave me no solutions at all. Then a friend of mine, months later, I think my baby was close to a year already, he said to me, I have a friend who has been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I think you have it. Because I got to the point even at work where I couldn't, when I was sitting down to standing up, I could not straighten up. My hips hurt. I couldn't do exercise. I was living in pain constantly. It was, I can't even describe it. And so I went to a doctor he recommended, and he told me that fibromyalgia, they didn't know very much about what fibromyalgia was. They didn't know what caused it. They thought maybe a traumatic event would trigger a virus in the body, or maybe it was a deficiency of a vitamin or mineral, but they couldn't identify really what it was. Some doctors told me that it was just a psychological illness, that it was something that maybe I was depressed, or maybe I had postpartum depression, and that caused me to experience all these body aches. And one of the last doctors I went to before actually being diagnosed, he talked to me about stress and how stress impacted the body, and it could be stress related. So that was, I felt completely helpless. I didn't know what to do. My body was just hurting me, and I couldn't function. I couldn't function. I was used to doing high impact exercise. Every day I exercised. At that point, my diet was still, I was in the process of becoming a vegetarian. But I really didn't pay attention to my nutrition and the symptoms that I had. So I took my friend who initially told me that he thought that I had fibromyalgia. He referred me to a nurse that we both worked with, but I hadn't told anybody else my symptoms. So I started talking to this nurse at the hospital that I worked in at that time, and she gave me a book to read, and it was called God's Way to Ultimate Health by Dr. George Malkmus. I started reading that book in combination with counsels of diets and nutrition, or counsel on diets and foods. And with what I knew growing up as the benefits of being vegetarian, at that point, I decided to become a vegetarian. I wasn't vegan, but I still ate dairy products, but I just, I stopped eating all meat and cold turkey. I just went and did it. And I noticed a difference in my body. But I was still in a lot of pain. I finally, 5 years later, one of my cousins was working for a rheumatologist, and he was studying fibromyalgia. So in the process, in the 5 years that I was going through this journey, I started just on my own, realizing that diet had a lot to do with my pains, that sleep had a lot to do with my pain, that stress had a lot to do with my pain. When I initially became a vegetarian, the pains went away. They went away, and for a month, because I was writing in my calendar every single day what the level of my pain, when the pain started. So for 30 days after becoming a vegetarian, I had no more pain. Then I had a stressful event at work, and the pain came back like twofold. So I realized at that time that stress had a lot to do with it too. So I was just piecemealing things. What's making me feel better? What's making me feel worse? When I met the rheumatologist that my cousin worked for, he did a lot of validation of what I was feeling emotionally and physically. And he told me, you're not going crazy. This is a real syndrome. This is a rheumatological syndrome, and there isn't a lot that we know about it, but it's not in your head, which lifted a load off of my shoulders, because I really thought I was going crazy, and I was somehow making all of these symptoms up. But he told me I wasn't. He was very reassuring. He talked to me about different elements that would make my fibromyalgia worse. And they were all diet related, stress related. He said that I needed to control the environment, my stress, control my illnesses. Like, for example, a cold could trigger fibromyalgia symptoms. So he talked to me about the importance of sleeping 8 to 9 hours. He said that becoming a vegetarian was actually something that he saw was helping his patients. Vitamin supplements, vitamin B12 was a big one. I started taking hyaluronic acid in pure form. The bottle that he recommended was Synthovial 7, and you just put little drops in water. That helped. But he also recommended 2 different medications, anti-inflammatory medications. I started taking them, but they had side effects, and I didn't want to take any medication. So I just did, my journey has been all natural. It's been a long journey. And every day I'm learning more. Sugar is a trigger for me, and so are dairy products. I haven't been able to give up cheese yet. When you were eating your cheese, I wanted to eat it. Yes.
Unexpected cheddar cheese.
I wanted it. Oh. So cheese is a big thing for me. I haven't been able to give that up. But it's a trigger for me. And sugar is definitely a trigger for me. So with exercise, like I mentioned, I did a lot of high impact exercise. I can't anymore. If I do high impact exercise, I will have a flare up of my fibromyalgia, and I could be out of commission, like to the point where I can't even put my fingers together to like grab the sheets and just fix my bed. So I do low impact. I power walk. I strengthen weightlifting, but light conditioning helps a lot. But then there's days where, I've done everything that I'm supposed to do and I still have the pains, but they're not as bad as they were 23, 24 years ago. So it's been a journey. It's been a very long journey. I met somebody when I was working at another hospital, and a mother of one of my patients that I worked with, and she told me she had fibromyalgia, and I've never met anybody with fibromyalgia. So that was about maybe 6 years after my journey began, and she was disabled. Like she had to apply for disability because she couldn't work. Her pain was so bad. And I didn't know that my pain could get that bad, that I would be, sometimes I felt like that, but I still made myself get out of bed because I had my family to take care of. But one thing that I'm thankful for is that I did not let fibromyalgia define who I was or what I was able to do. I pushed through the pain. Even though it hurt to walk, I continued pushing. I started being able to walk a mile, then 2, then 3. I could walk up to 10 miles now. But my nutrition has really had a lot to do with it. And supplements. If I don't take vitamin B12 for a couple of days, I start feeling more pains. So I know everybody has a different journey. Everybody has a different experience. But that was my battle and my journey, and that I'm still working on. I still find things that work, and I add it to my list of do's, and then I find things that don't work and I take that off my list.
You know what? I love that you are taking the time to even just kind of note, what things are things that have set it off, or what are things that you've noticed. Even, I remember even having to do that years ago when I was like, you know what, I really want to get back to just being my normal weight,
Yeah.
And so I remember talking to a nutritionist, and they had said, just journal, like write down what you eat, everything from morning to night, just write it down. So I kept a journal of that for a couple of weeks. And then it was just like, oh, okay. Well, these are some of the things that you need to cut out. So I think there's something so important about notating and writing down and journaling the things that you're eating, so that you can say, okay, this is a common denominator. I'm noticing that, in the last 2 weeks, things have been good. This is how I've been eating. But as you're journaling, you can notice it'll help remind you like what you put into your body, or maybe even some things that you experienced externally that could have brought on that stress, And I'm so thankful for that physician that really validated and confirmed, no, it is a real thing. Fibromyalgia is a real thing. And that's one of the reasons, why, again, this show really is, we like to have fun and we like to laugh and giggle and things like that. But just as important as all of that is, to me, people's health and their physical being, to me, that's so important as well. And so when we saw that, this week is National Fibromyalgia Awareness Day, and just, even talking with you, just through some of your journey, I thought, we need to have these types of things that we're talking about and topics on the show as well, because some people don't know. Some people, like, here are these doctors that are making you think, oh, it's just you're just being emotional. But, when I was looking at fibromyalgia, it actually affects over 12 million Americans. 12 million Americans. So you're not alone in this. And your precious friend that's even a little bit more debilitated and disabled, she's not alone in that. It is a musculoskeletal issue. Musculoskeletal. Yeah. I'm telling you, me and the tongue twisters. So, but, just looking at some of the symptoms that you were mentioning, and when I was looking at, this week being National Fibromyalgia Awareness Day, widespread pain, incapacitatingly being fatigued, anxiety, depression, migraines, headaches, insomnia. I mean, I just think it all connects, and it all affects these other areas of your body and your ability to be able to sleep. Hypersensitivity to things being too hot or too cold, swelling, numbness, even what you're saying, not even being able to tingling, right? So these are things that I've not experienced, but I'm just, in looking at fibromyalgia and what are some of the symptoms, and realizing, oh my goodness, this affects over 12 million Americans. You just wonder how many are out there that don't even know that this is what they've been, they're actually maybe experiencing these symptoms, but they haven't really noticed. Have they lost, their energy? Has their energy decreased and things like that? So, like, my goodness, I'm so glad that you kept, and that you kept on kind of fighting for your, not your physical sanity, but I need to get to the bottom of this. I need to know what's going on with my body, and I know, that they say that there's right now there's like not an official cure for it. So I love that you're just really on this journey to be able to see, well, how can what I put in my body affect, the healing or the strengthening or the eliminating of some of those symptoms and things like that. So, and you said something so key. You said, you were taking the medicine, the medication, and you just didn't like how you were feeling. You did not like the side effects. I am thankful for medicine. I've got family members that are in the medical field, doctors, nurses, but sometimes those medications are just, they can make you feel worse.
They can.
It's like when you see those commercials and it's like, oh, great, I've got this lovely medication. It's going to help with this. And it's like, and side effects make you
in a very sweet voice.
I'm like, oh my gosh, blood clotting, may,
Yes.
bring out on a heart attack and all these. And it's like, oh no,
No. And that's why I decided I didn't want to take the medication because I don't want, I am grateful for medicine. There is a reason why, God gave people the intelligence to become doctors and to create these medicines for reasons that we need them. But for me personally, I didn't want the medication. I didn't like the way it made me feel, and I wanted to go a natural route. And our bodies, it's amazing how our bodies respond when you feed it live food. When you feed, eating, for me, I started doing raw food. So raw, as little cooked as possible. I'm tongue-tied too, Cyndi. So I tried to have a raw food diet. That's what I'm trying to say. And that was just amazing. One of the book that I read, The God's Way to Ultimate Health, was really focused on our bodies being created to heal themselves if we feed it the proper nutrition. And I know that sometimes people have, they don't believe in that food can really be healing, but it really can. And it's not just food, but it's a balance. You have to have a balance, good nutrition, good exercise, good attitude, positive attitude. Depression is a big thing with fibromyalgia. And I am thankful that I did not experience a depression. I felt helpless, but that I didn't let it get to that point with depression. But I know a lot of people that do experience depression and that chronic fatigue.
Sure. Yeah. You talked about God's Way to Ultimate Health, and we're going to provide a link to that book because that book is amazing. And if I could just live according to that book, I would have no health issues or next to none. I had no idea. This is back in the 90s. Okay, I was in undergrad, and my daily diet would consist of breakfast, coffee, a 40 ounce of Coke, probably McDonald's or Jack in the Box, like a little morning breakfast Jack or something. Would get to work, would have more coffee. I was going to school taking 17, 18 units, but I was also working full time. And I was a commuter. So I was a student that commuted. Mm-hmm. So would get to work, and then down the street was Burger King. So I'd go to Burger King every day and have lunch there. Or Kentucky Fried Chicken was across the street.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And then at school, I would go to night school, and there was a Jack in the Box there, and I would eat there. It was actually really good. I forget that sandwich, but it had meat in it. It had bell peppers. There's a name for it. There's a special name. It was really good. And then, of course, I would have a Coke there as well. And I would have Pepsi at home, and I would have these heart palpitations. And my roommate at the time, she would say, you're not eating healthy. And I said, what do you mean I'm not eating healthy? I'm eating food. Because of my lack of understanding, I thought that all food was healthy.
Yeah.
Whether it was soda, French fries, pasta, it didn't matter. I thought because they're making this and they're serving this, then it's already been approved by the FDA for me to be able to eat this. So I'm giving my body nutrients. And that was such a lie that I had no idea. So embarrassed when I talk about it. And I think, oh my gosh, Cyndi, I can't believe that you actually thought that way. But I really did. I thought, it wasn't until I read the book, God's Way to Ultimate Health, that I started realizing, first of all, when I'm eating dead food, that's not putting any nutrients in my body. Yes. Well, what's dead food? Dead food is anything that doesn't have life in it, which is basically grains, animal, dead animal, anything that had a head on it. And then finding out that live foods is what really helps to give my body the sustenance that it needs. See, we have to be able to provide the environment for our bodies to naturally heal themselves, because they will, right? And we don't listen to our bodies enough. You know, sometimes our bodies will say, take a nap, go to sleep, eat more iron, eat more greens. Like your body tells you what it needs.
It sure does.
So we should listen to our bodies, you know, and I've heard people go, oh, I know my body's telling me this, but I'm going to do that be over here because it's like, no. Don't try to be like an Iron Man mentality. Listen to your body. What is your body saying? Does it need more water? This is why when you're thirsty, you get that, you know, you need to quench it. Well, it's not quenched by soda or juice. It's quenched by water.
It's true. Yeah.
So, and I will talk a little bit about some of the healthy zones in the States, because we did talk a little bit about this. We do know, like Loma Linda University, for example, that is one of the healthier zones in the globe, around the globe, actually.
Yes.
Where life is expanded and people live longer, and it's because of the way that the eating is taking place in that area. So I want to talk a little bit about that, but I do want to definitely, you pointed out God's Way to Ultimate Health, and I want to be sure to share that book because it brought such wisdom, such insight to people fighting diabetes, fighting cancer. There was just, my eyes literally, like the veil was lifted and the scales were removed, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yes.
I had no idea.
One of the concepts of that book is that, excuse me,
You're fine.
if you're eating well, I'm going to drink some water. Sorry.
You're good.
My goodness. If you eat healthy, then your body balances out. So if you need to gain weight, your body, you're going to gain the weight that you need. And if you need to lose weight, you're going to lose the weight that you need. So that's another, topic on weight loss, but this book was just amazing. In combination with the Council of Diet and Foods, it was just amazing what nutrition does to our bodies. It can hurt us or it can harm us. And we definitely have to pay attention to what. Now, one of the things with fibromyalgia is that I have become self-aware of what I drink and what I eat, how it impacts my body. And I immediately feel it. If it doesn't belong in my body, I get very sleepy, or my joints start to get swollen. I start getting inflammation. So this book, the content, the information, the purpose that it was written, everything, it was just, it's eye-opening. It's really eye-opening.
Very eye-opening, and how much a lot of, we kind of already know this, but how much certain organizations and administrations benefit from us continuing to be consumers of like the meat and the cheese and all of that industry, the animal, product industry, which, I'm not perfect. I'm still trying to figure that out and navigate through that on my own as well. I noticed, for a long time, if I would eat certain grains, I would feel a certain way inside. So I've eliminated that from my eating. And in the process, I'll just be honest, I've lost almost 60 pounds just by doing that in 2 years. In 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And so because I was feeling horrible at night, and it was during the pandemic, and it was right around Labor Day, and I thought, I cannot sleep another night like this. I'm so uncomfortable. Wow. I just was crying. I was like, I don't like how I feel. I cannot do this another day. So I basically just said, okay, Lord, I need your help. Like, I don't feel well. I know that I'm not healthy. And there are things that you've called me to do, and I need to be able to do it for the long haul. Like, I need to be in this game until the days that you ordained and fashioned for me to be done. Right. I'm not going to take myself out earlier than what you originally had established for me. So just had a journal, had my Bible, just quiet time, and I just started writing what I felt like he was showing me. This is how I need you to eat. And so it hasn't been a quick thing, it was like when I started, I was 220. I'm only 5'3". Never had any kids. Like, I should not have been 220 pounds. And now I'm somewhere right around 160, which is still a lot. If you remember me in high school, I was much, much smaller than that. And I'm just being very transparent because I just want people to know. But I do feel like a different person. I have so much more energy, and there's still things that I'm working through. I've had gallbladder issues in the past, and I started kind of recently, every now and then if I would have like rye toast or something, I would feel a little bit of like not good in that little area. So I thought, okay, we need to go back to, now when I got rid of my gallstones, I did it all naturally.
How'd you do that?
And I'm not going to recommend this to people because I don't want people to try it and then be like, well, you said to do this is what I did. It was a recipe on the web, but also a friend of mine's husband, they ran a health food store, and it was also the same, I don't know what you would call it, cleansing. It was a gallbladder cleanse. It was, I think Hulda Clark is the one that did it, and I don't know if she's still alive or not, but it basically has to do with you prep your body for like 30 days. At the end of 30 days, you're drinking like 1 to 2 cups of olive oil, and then you're but also drinking the equivalent amount of either freshly squeezed lemon juice or freshly squeezed grapefruit juice. You lay on your back, you drink Epsom salt so that your capillaries are open and nothing gets stuck going down. And then within 24 hours, you're ridding the stones. It's really gross.
Was it painful?
No, not painful. And I know I
Okay.
need to do it again, but I don't want to do. I'm like, maybe surgery would just be the better.
Oh no.
I know it's terrible. It's terrible. But, but again, that goes to me not providing originally the conditions that my body needs.
Yeah.
And so here I was putting all this dead food, because gallstones is calcified fat, and it's inorganic material that just gets stuck in your gallbladder, and so again, I'm not a physician, I'm not a nutritionist. All that I know is that I've read God's Way to Ultimate Health. I know that I've done a gallbladder cleanse, and a few times I've done it, and it's worked, every time. So they say once you've had them, you need to go back and cleanse regularly and flush. I haven't done that, but I know that I need to. So, listening to your body.
Yes.
And your body will speak to you. With the heart palpitations, the same thing. I was asking the Lord to heal me, and at the same time, I had this sense, this wisdom to stop drinking caffeine. And I wasn't listening to that, but I was saying, but Lord, your word says this. It tells me that by the stripes of Jesus, I'm healed. It tells me that you are my healer. Lord, heal my body. And then at the same time, I'm hearing almost daily, don't drink caffeine, don't drink so much soda, all of this thing. So finally, when I listened to that voice, the heart palpitations stopped.
Wow.
And
That is amazing.
I didn't connect the dots at the time. It was after when I was like, oh, I think it's because I was drinking all that soda.
Wow.
I was having 44 ounces of soda, breakfast, lunch, dinner, having it at home. We always had a case of Pepsi in the fridge, and I was drinking about 5 cups of coffee a day.
Oh my goodness, Cyndi. Oh.
I was trying to destroy my body. And I was only in my 20s. I was a young adult. And I wasn't drinking any of this. It's like, oh no, I don't like water. I love it now. It's actually my favorite drink. Coffee is my favorite, but water's right below it just because of how good I feel when I drink it. So now we talked a little bit about the zones. So Carrie, she's our segment producer. She pulled up the blue zone. So the blue zones are places in the world that have the healthiest living and longevity of life. And number one, actually, this is so embarrassing. There's 5 countries, but we're at the bottom of but we are in there in one city in particular. So Okinawa, Japan is number 1. I don't know if this is right. Icaria, Greece is number 2. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Sardinia, Italy, Nicoya Peninsula, Costa Rica, and then Loma Linda, California, USA.
Wow.
5 blue zones. So we are the Seventh-day Adventist community. That is Loma Linda University. And I can tell you, my grandmother, she passed away in her 90s, Seventh-day Adventist, and always eating. I don't know if she ever ate meat, but I do know that, yes, we bless our food and all of these things, but still, your body is still exposed to and is a recipient of whatever you're putting in it. Let's just be honest.
It
This is
is.
why God in Leviticus talked about not eating certain types of foods, and so if you look at those foods today, those types of foods do cause a lot of sickness, a lot of disease. Again, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you, if you're looking at God's word in Leviticus, there are very specific animals he said not to eat.
Yes. It's true.
And, yeah. And then Dr. Malcolmus, and then I'll let you chime back in. I'm so sorry. But I remember he had mentioned that we were instructed to only eat of the fruit of the field and fruits of the trees. Of every herb you may eat. Now, we didn't start eating meat until after the fall of man.
Yes.
So that's just something to think about. But is there anything else that you want to share in regards to what I'm talking about? I feel like we could go on and on forever, because I also like the idea that you were saying, even with the exercise, you stopped the high impact, but now you're still power walking. So there are things that you can do. Like, don't just cave in and be like, oh, now I can't exercise. No, what can you still do that's still going to promote the health and what your body needs to be able to do what it needs to do properly?
Yes. No, the person who gave me the God's Way to Ultimate Health, she was a nurse in Loma Linda. So I was working there at the time. And so they promote like healthy eating, healthy lifestyle. And I was going to whatever seminar I could get my hands on about nutrition. One of the seminars that I went to was on laughter and medicine, and how the Bible says that laughter is good medicine. And so you just been talking about a positive attitude and your mindset. It plays a humongous role in your healing and in your well-being. So I can eat well, I can exercise, but if I have a negative attitude and I say, oh, I still can't do this, I still can't do that, no, it's going to impact me. So it is important. No, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, like you mentioned, Cyndi, but through my own personal experience, what I've lived through, I know that God gave me the ability to see this in a different light and not just give up. Because when you have so much pain, really all you want to do is be in your PJs all day and be in bed and not move, because it hurts to move, but then it hurts to lay down too. So you're just in pain all the time. But I would just, don't give up. That's what I really would like to say. Don't give up. Don't give in to the fibromyalgia or whatever else you're going through. Don't let it define who you are, and you push through, because we are not meant to give up. God didn't design us to just say, just to throw our hands up in the air and say, I can't do this. No, he didn't give us a spirit of fear. So we push through, we continue moving, we make the best choices that we can, and educate yourself. And don't just take somebody else's word for it. You go out and see what it is that works for you, journal, and keep moving. The power walking, it isn't just for my physical health, it's for my emotional health too. And I love walking outside in the fresh air, because that's part of our healing, is to be out in the sun. We need the vitamin D, we need the fresh air, we need to be out amongst people. We can't give up. We can't give up. We have to push through.
So good. I love that. And we really have been, purposed and created to not give up. And I think everything that you said is just that leaves us, even me, like very, very strengthened and encouraged and wanting just to go back and revisit some of the things that I know that I've studied in the past and kind of put that on the shelf. And, sometimes we can do things in increments and in seasons, so you're building this and you're setting this one foundation. And so now that you've got this, now, come on, let's take this next step. Now let's add this piece of the puzzle to what you should be doing. And let's just keep taking those steps to wholeness and health and healing, which means I'm going to probably have to do a gallbladder cleanse sometime in the future.
And Cyndi, real quick, I wanted to add,
Yes,
you
of
know, this
course.
journey of eating healthy is not easy. So for some people, it is. I mean, it just comes natural and they can do it. But it's not easy. But it's not impossible. So you start with little things, cutting out. I used to love to drink juice. I cut that out. I'll juice myself. But mainly just water. And I don't like water by itself. I just add lemon or mint leaves or something to give it some flavor. But just it's a step-by-step process. Don't expect that you are going to change your lifestyle from one moment to the next. Just little by little, baby steps.
That's good. Take those baby steps. That's right. I like that. And I'm so glad you mentioned juicing. That's another book that I have, and it's old, probably from the 70s, but like what I try to do once a week, and I don't do this all the time, but I try to go to Mother's Market and I'll get a carrot beet juice with parsley and spinach and ginger. And I know they say you should drink it, like all of it. Now, I just doctor it over. I just drink like 8 to 10 ounces a day. So sometimes it's done in 3 days, sometimes it's done in 4. But I figure that's better than nothing.
Yes.
Me getting something is better than nothing. And I know juicing yourself would be better, but I don't have the time to do all that and clean it out and get no. Just send me to Mother's.
Yes. I'm so glad that there's so many options for us out there.
There really are. Sprouts,
Yes.
Trader Joe's, there are places that have just, freshly squeezed. Of course, it's not like right then and there within 24 hours but still it's better than drinking a soda. It's better than drinking, those types of drinks. So, well, I want to thank you so much for coming and sharing your journey and just for encouraging us and anybody that's dealing with fibromyalgia or any other sickness that you've been walking through. Don't give up. Don't lose hope. I love that you said, Madelaine, to keep educating yourself. Yes. Don't just take what somebody's saying. Okay, I'm going to do this because this is what they're saying to do. There are options. There are choices. There are people that are health coaches. I have a dear friend of mine is a health coach. She had cancer years ago, and I remembered as I was praying for her, I felt compelled to share with her God's way to ultimate health. Mm-hmm. And I was very scared because she was a mom, she had cancer, and I was like, I don't want to give her this wrong information and then her do this and then it not work. But I really prayed about it. I felt very strong that I was supposed to share this book with her, God's Way to Ultimate Health. I just remembered that all right now as we're talking. And so I shared it with her. I said, please pray about it. Don't, if you don't feel, they felt like they were supposed to do it. So she still did chemo, but she did God's Way to Ultimate Health. And she didn't do the full, he's got that moderate version that she did that. So she was still doing chicken, but with no hormones. Hormones is the worst thing for you. Sugar helps to feed cancerous cells. Yes. It speeds up the growth. Hormones adds to cancerous cells and speeds up the growth and also gives adds to the tumors. It's how some of these things grow. So she did God's Way, the moderate version. She still did chemo, but she was drinking so much carrot juice and barley green.
Yes.
And the doctor said to her, what are you doing? Whatever you're doing, your cells are the healthiest we have seen in many people, and you're fighting cancer. Wow. So they were blown away at whatever she was doing. Well, it was carrot juice. Her skin was kind of orange, and but a lot of barley green and carrot juice. And she chose to do it also with chemo. She completely is cancer free to this day. And now that is her ministry. That's her job. She coaches people to giving them options. You know, I know there's the Gerson Institute
Mm-hmm.
that helps to flush people's bodies out when they have cancer. And I don't know what stage is it, you know, if there's I don't know any of that. I'm just saying, do your research and then go with what you feel in here is best for
Yes.
you. Everybody's body is different and everybody's body will respond differently. So you can't say, well, they did that and I did it. It didn't work for me. You know, go with what you really feel you're supposed to do. So I pray that this strengthens those of you that are watching. Even maybe you're not fighting a sickness, but maybe you just want to eat healthier. And so we are going to make God's Way to Ultimate Health. We'll put that book on our website this week so that you have access to that. He's the same author that wrote Why Do Christians Get Sick? And he talks about all the fast food industry and all the hormones, and it was so gross. But I probably need to watch that again too.
We always need refreshers.
Yes, we really do. We really do. Well, Madelaine, we just pray God's best for you and his blessings over you, continued health and healing over you, and the grace that he's given you to be able to still forge forward and do all that you do. You're an amazing friend, mom, daughter. Well, both of your parents are gone, but you just, I know that they're so proud and you just honored them so well as they were both, you know, living. And so we just pray a blessing over you. And we would love to have you back on the show.
Yay. Thank you for having me. This was so fun. Thank you.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Well, everybody, Madelaine Ayala, God bless you, Madelaine.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So we're going to make that book for you available. Just love having her on the show, just her transparency, just being real, and yet just giving you what she's walked through so that you can maybe experience a change for the better in your health, even if you're not fighting fibromyalgia. But this is National Fibromyalgia Awareness Week, this day of this week. So we just wanted to be sure to bring someone out here who's walking through it and who's making strides against fibromyalgia and winning. I love that you're hearing that she's winning in some of this, what she's walked through. So we love you guys. I was going to play, this is also National, what was it? No, not National Chicken Dance Day. It's National, okay, I'm going to see if we can do this. It is National, let's see if I can find, National Dance Like a Chicken Day. But before we do, we want to make sure, before we end this way, we want to make sure that you do subscribe to our channel. If you don't yet subscribe to us on YouTube, do subscribe. We have a lot of fun, but more than that, we really do bring people out here to help you grow, whether it's emotionally, spiritually, mentally, financially, physically, with your calling or like transitioning, life transitions, all these different things. We really have wonderful guests like Salt of the Earth, who their heart is the same as ours, is just to see you reach to that next thing so you can be everything that you are supposed to be. And so subscribe to our channel, visit our website, anewthinglive.com. That's where we will have information on this week's episode. We will have the book for you with Dr. Malcolmus. If you have any prayer requests, email us at anewthing.live@gmail.com. You're not meant to do life alone. And we have a prayer team that would love to pray with you and say, we are with you. We're going to declare God's word with you. We have faith in a God who can do the miraculous. So I don't care what that prayer request is. You reach out to us at anewthing.live@gmail.com, and our team will be praying with you. Okay, so let me see. We're going to try to leave you with the chicken dance. I'm going to see if I can do this right. Okay, let me see. Here we go. You got to get up. We're going to do this Oh, Kiri is up. I love it. She's ready. Okay. So because we're talking about ending and working out, we're going to end with the chicken dance, and then we'll say goodbye. Have a blessed week. We love you, but we're going to play this real quick. Ready? Who knows the chicken? Did you hear it? Back it up. Okay, we got it. look out for that new thing that God has for you. Maybe this is the week that you start working out, drinking more water, as we end with this chicken dance. But we love you. We believe in you. Have a great week. And we'll see you next week on a new thing live. Let's see if I can do this thing right now. Oh my word, oh my word.
Are you ready?